what needs to be changed for the free agency period? Because there seem to be some highly baked deals announced within mere seconds of the deadline passing or starting, with the window supposedly opening up. What needs to be changed? In your
I think
mind here?
Commissioner Silver, he's a great leader, and he's already on this, which is, there's a lot of rules that they have on the books that are basically unenforceable. They're good in concept, but unenforceable. So I think, he's talking about changing them such that the ones that they have on the books, they're going to be very diligent and enforce. And the ones that are almost impossible to enforce, like agents talking to players or behind this, all that kind of stuff, that maybe those will change. So we'll see what Commissioner does. But
what do you want to see done?
I've spoken to him. I think I agree. A lot of that stuff, he would have come up with this on his own, but stuff I've suggested to him, which is like, it hurts the league office to have unenforceable rules. They should be and to me, like, if you can't create an environment your players want to be in, and they can choose, they want to leave just based on one phone conversation with somebody,
right,
then that's your problem. You haven't created the environment for that player to want to stay.
So what about finals are over, confetti's taken out of everybody's hair. Day after that, you can start talking to free agents. What about that idea?
Yeah,
and then you have a draft afterwards. You do the free agency first and the draft, just
I think
like
it's how
the
NFL does it. Yeah. The NFL does a lot of things right, Rich.
Well, I mean, look, so much conversation about how NBA free agency, however, was far more fascinating and exciting than NFL free agency. Obviously, if the NBA had a franchise tag, Kawhi wasn't going anywhere. So it's apples and oranges from that point of view. However, it's helpful to know what you need to draft because you've gone through free agency first. Plus, it's also helpful to put the hat of the team that the draftee is going to on the head of the draftee with confidence that is the hat he's going to wear.
Yeah,
for
the
his
NFL
career.
really does that, right?
I mean,
it's really weird, that NBA draft. You don't know who's going where.
It's so
it's very hard to watch. But yeah, putting free agency first, I think is better. I also think the reason the NBA free agency is such a big deal is not only are our players like more out front, public, you can see them, they don't have a helmet, all the usual arguments, but they also make a way bigger impact. Like the only players who come close to having even the impact of like your second best player on an NBA team is the quarterbacks in the NFL. And so our top few players have such a big impact. If you want to decide who's going to win the title, you don't even have to look at role players generally. You just have to count the number of like all NBA players they have, and that will basically track how Vegas is projecting that team. So those big players moving creates a lot of drama and fun.
Would you be fine with a period of talking with free agents right away? I mean, right as soon as the season's over.
I would be. It's more realistic, yeah. Or just always. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, that would be something.
I mean, player to player, these conversations happen constantly. So, like, why pretend it doesn't happen?
Well, certainly if a player now is a part owner or has associates who are owning agencies, sports agencies, I mean, that is part of what's going on with Anthony Davis and LeBron and the Lakers. At least the people are supposing that's been
I don't think I think formally having ties into ownership does create a lot of conflict, so that would be probably something that should always be not allowed.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.